This week, Americans paid tribute to President Jimmy Carter, who passed away back on December 29th, and his funeral was earlier this week. President Carter was very familiar with Idaho, having a strong connection and really good friendship with Governor Cecil Andrus. We've heard stories this week about the life and legacy of Carter, and a viewer of the 208 stops by KTVB to share her story about the Carter family, meeting the future president before he ran, and bringing a message back to Idaho that foreshadowed an exciting future.
I grow peanuts, which grow under the ground. I know you grow potatoes under the ground. I feel a kinship there because I am a farmer.
President Jimmy Carter was no stranger to the state of Idaho, visiting the Gem State several times during his time at the White House. A key factor in that, his good friend, Idaho Governor Cecil Andrus.
Among all the governors in the nation, Cecil Andrus has probably been as close to me as any other.
Governor Andrus went on to serve as the United States Secretary of the Interior as a part of the Carter administration. A chance encounter years earlier, though, foreshadowed that major job for Idaho's governor.
Well, it started on World Campus Afloat with Judy Langford from Georgia. She and I both were engaged, and we had our wedding dresses made in Hong Kong together.
Shelley Smith Eichmann is a fourth-generation Boisean. She traveled off to college at sea in the 1970s, where she happened to meet the future daughter-in-law of President Carter, Judy Langford.
This is from our cruise, Judy's and my cruise.
Engaged at the time to Jack Carter, a friendship between Judy and Shelley had them reconnect stateside.
She kept saying, hey, you gotta come back and stay in the governor's mansion with us.
So she did, heading off to Georgia, where Carter served as governor from 1971 to 1975. When she arrived,
Jimmy answered the door.
Himself?
Himself, at the mansion. And he had his tennis togs on. He had been playing tennis. He said, oh, excuse me, I'm sorry, I've been playing tennis.
Shelley spent time with the family, culminating in a dinner with the future president, one that had a message for the Idahoan sitting at his table.
Jimmy looked at me and said, now, Shelley, you're from Idaho. I said, yes. He said, will you please tell my dear friend Cecil Andrus that I'm running for president and I need his help? Which I did. I ran into Cecil up at Hillcrest Country Club and told him. And he was kind of surprised. I think the family was really surprised when he first announced that he wanted to run for president.
It was a successful run that earned her a trip to Washington, D.C.
Invited us to a reception at the White House the day after inauguration, and it was for the people who had housed Carter family members during the campaign. Because Jack had come and stayed in here in Boise with us.
That's right. Shelley drove Jack Carter around Boise as he campaigned for his father, and that included a stop right here at News Channel 7. It's a story of history and happenstance, but the takeaway from that Georgia dinner stays with Shelley till this day.
They were just a regular family, really nice. Everybody was so gracious.
And Shelley told us today that she got to tour the White House following the Carter inauguration, and as you can imagine, that is a tour and something she will always remember.